what up, you guys? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a One Piece chapter review. This time's for chapter 80. Now, this chapter, holy shit, Nami got screwed. I had a feeling that was going to happen because a few chapters back, Arlong said that he wouldn't go back on his promise, and then there was a pause. And, you know, that was really nice foreshadowing, pretty obvious. And given the character of Arlong, I mean, given the fact that, you know, he's extorting these people and he knows Belle Marie is after him. Not Belle Murray, but Nami. He knows Nami's after him, right? Because of what he did to Belle. And Arlong is actually following one of the 48 Laws of Power. And in that book, you know, and I've referenced it in a few other reviews, but in that book, one of the things it tells you is the people closest to you are the ones most likely to betray you, but the people who you do wrong, right? If you bring them into the fold, they're less likely to betray you because you hold something over them. That's exactly what he did with Nami. So this is pretty nice, man. 48 Laws of Power takes different things from the Art of War, which is, you know, an Asian philosophy book on war. And given this is a Japanese manga, it's nice to, you know, read different tactics inside of it. Now, with all that being said, I have to say this. I don't care how strong Arlong is, right? I've been on the other side of Nami, and what I'm talking about is how she just barged into Arlong's place, completely pissed the fuck off. I've been on the other side of that. When a woman's that mad, you don't, like, it's best to just, you know, fall on the sword, man. But in Arlong's case, it's not gonna happen. But I think sooner or later, because Nami just cold clocks Luffy before she runs after her to approach Arlong, right, to confront him, I think that's when Luffy's gonna show up. And I think when Luffy finds out what the fuck Nami got that money for and how Arlong did her, that's gonna make for a hell of a fight, because it isn't just Luffy fighting against Kuro or against Buggy or even against Don Krieg, right? He's fighting for a crew member. And so my expectations for this fight, even without you guys telling me that this arc was going to be one of my favorites, even without that, my expectations for this fight, they were at about a 7 before. The arc itself has been a 10, and so far I have the arc at about an 8.5. And the fight has gone from a 7 to a 10. I'm expecting some majorly impressive shit. You know, I'm expecting some huge shit. Now, just to go ahead and backtrack, you know, I want to point out just a few scenes in this chapter that I thought were pretty nice, man. Like, again, you know, Oda, when he decides to just put his all into certain panels, like with that one shot in the last chapter where Belle's blood flowed from one panel to the next across her face, like when he does things like that, it's very beautiful. And melodrama isn't always the best, you know, route to take. Sometimes it's just the simple things, you know, like in writing, it's one of the things we say, you know, show us, don't tell us, you know, don't give us a bunch of exposition, just write out the scene, let us see it for ourselves. And that's essentially what Oda did right here. After we get the flashback of Nami saying that she's going to bury all of her treasure inside Belle's orchard tree, right, like underneath it, you know, by the bush. And she had already got 1 million berries, and she says just 99 more to go. And even at that young age, she was stealing treasure from pirates. I thought that was something she did like when she was a little bigger, because she's only 10 and she's still rather small. So just to see that, you know, and for her to be so small, you know, she had to have gone through a lot of shit just to get 1 million berries, man. But let's just get into this. This is what I mean, show and don't tell. Look at this, man. Like, we don't see her face, and it's consistent with the last time we saw Nami with Belle, and she's holding that hand. And if you'll just look, like I said, like in the last chapter, that was the exact same hand that, you know, Belle had gotten injured on. And now we see her eyes, and she's smiling. And she's saying, I'll finally be able to laugh from my heart. But that smile in itself is a laugh. Like that's what I mean. When Oda decides to do little small things, it just blows me away because the minute attention to detail that is paid is absolutely phenomenal, man. Like again, I'm a little behind on the anime, but I gotta know, like, do they play some type of music with this? That's like, I know I'm asking a lot, you know, because this is, I think I'm 18 episodes into One Piece, so this is probably 30-ish, if I had to guess. So I know I'm probably asking a lot. Somebody let me know, like, if is there some type of sad music, a happy music, or there's no music at all, man. Sometimes less is more. But the other thing that I just really paid a lot of attention to when I was reading that kind of just got at me was when Nami finds out that they're going to, the Navy is going to take her berries, and she finds out the exact number because the mouse face, the guy that, you know, I had a feeling was going to pop up and all that, you know, he was like, look, man, we're here for 100 million berries. And that's when Genzo, you know, basically says, like, look, we're counting on this girl to buy out the village. And Nami's like, oh, shit, you guys knew. And that threw me for a loop. Like, Genzo, I had a feeling. But the rest of them, I thought the rest of the village didn't know. That's why I was so impressed that she was shouldering all of that hate. And now it makes sense. You know, they had to go back inside of their houses because if they would have stayed out there in front of us, somebody would have broke down. Therefore, it would have broke Nami's resolve. And it might have gotten back to Arlong. And turns out, you know, Arlong was, you know, hedging his bets anyway. So it wasn't going to really work out for her. But what I thought was really impressive, though, is the fact that Arlong in one chapter is sinking pirate ships. In another chapter, his crew's sinking pirate ships. And now not pirate ships, Navy ships. And then in this chapter, he has the Navy working for him. And that just really got to me because it just shows that you do have corruption out here on the East Blue. And I understand why they would want to have the strongest Navy officers on the Grand Line because that's where all the pirates are. I understand that. Don't get me wrong, I understand it. But at the same time, like, damn, if the East Blue is like this and this is the weakest out of all of them, how corrupt are the rest of the seas? And somebody let me know right now, like, are we going to explore the other seas or do they go directly from the Grand Line from here? You know, you can let me know that. Like I said, just keep the spoilers to minimum. Don't go into detail, just a yes or no. Just a yes, no. You guys been doing an awesome job of, you know, keeping spoilers out because I do go through and read the comments. You know, I don't reply back the same day like I used to just because of scheduling reasons, but I try to reply back to everybody at least within a week from when you've written. And if I don't reply back, I usually thumbs up. But getting into that, man, like I said, when Nami decides to go off, like I said, just the facial features, man. Like she says, he's enslaved everyone on the island. Are you going to ignore those atrocities and seize the loot of one petty thief? Is that how the government works? And just that look right there, I mean, that's just beautiful, man. And for me, I think that the main lesson Nami is going to learn from this arc is something that Nojiko really hinted at. She said, for Nami, the word friend is painful because she does everything by herself. And this is part of why I like Nami so much, because I can relate to her a lot. And that's something that I had to learn myself. You know, I haven't really just said out of all the One Piece characters that there's somebody I can relate to more than others. You know, I have some of Luffy. I have a lot of Luffy's, you know, blunt nature. But reading this arc, I mean, I can relate to Nami a lot, man. And this is the thing. I had to learn that you can't do things by yourself. You're only as strong as the people around you. You're only as good as the people around you. You're judged by the people around you. And it's okay to ask for help. I'm a very prideful person, just like how she is in this arc. But she's in a position now where Arlong has her. And you know it's going to get back to Luffy. Because she's crying. He's got her by the face. And Luffy's just in chill mode, man. Even after she knocks the hell out of him, she's in chill mode. But like I said, I've been on the other side of that. When any type of person, not just a woman, but when any type of person is that emotional, there's no way in hell you're gonna be able to reason with them, especially when they know they've been wronged, man. But overall, I gotta say, man, like I said, like those attention to details, like right there, the way he's looking. When did I ever break my promise? And again, I keep telling you, pay attention to which eyes are being shown, which direction. He's looking right at the reader, but it's the right eye. He's dealing with the present, but he's talking about the past, which shows that he planned for this. I mean, Oda, like I said, when he decides to do these small things, it impresses me. But overall, that's it for this chapter review. You know, I did skip over Nojiko, telling Sanji to stop calling Nami her darling because it'll draw attention. I felt like it'd be a little redundant. And that's my one critique with this chapter, is that we didn't really need that comedy break from Sanji, because it was already showed later on that that's why Nami needed to keep everybody out of it. I didn't think we needed that thrown in so early in the chapter. It's like you pick one or the other. If you're writing, you don't say in one sentence the square brown table, the square wooden brown table. You just choose one and then you just build on it. Like it's a table. It's round. It's brown. You just sprinkle it out. And that's my one gripe. Oda usually does a good job of that. But in this case, like I said, that's my one critique on this. But my chapter question for you guys is, how did you personally feel when you found out that Arlong basically betrayed Nami? But overall, like I said, great chapter. If I give it a rating, I give it 9 out of 10. It might seem a little high, but I like these setup chapters more than the actual action chapters. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, share. Greatly appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching Kryptonian Saying.